Well, here we go with the first edition of Phil Steele Plus Tour with selections for this year. Finished off last season strong, going 23-11 over the last 6 weeks of 2022, including the quick hitters last year, 86-59. Hopefully you got another big year of winners. Of course, the purpose of this is to get you to use Phil Steele Plus to its fullest during the course of the season. I put so much information on Phil Steele Plus, and you know what? Yeah, I've got some new stuff up there this year which you're going to enjoy. Let's take a quick tour, though, of a couple of things on Phil Steele Plus. Then we'll get to the plays utilizing some of this new stuff that is up on Phil Steele Plus. First of all, if you click on FBS information right here. Why is that not working? All right, if you click on FBS information right here and click on the team page, you just click right over here. Let's go to any team. How about Penn State? If you go to Penn State, this will be updated all season long with the individual stats. Here is the complete numbers. You can click right here and you get the last 26 years matchups at your fingertips. How's Penn State done against Ohio State? Color-coded green and red. This is your score of the game. Red indicates a loss. This is your line on the game. Green indicates a win. This is how the home team is done, home and away. You get this on every single game on every single team just by clicking here. You can get the box scores for any of last year's games, halftime scores on all the games, individual stat leaders. You want to see how the players did last year. You can see Singleton had a couple of 100-yard games here. That's updated not only for this year. This goes all the way down to 2009. You can go back and look at the individual stat leaders, get the last 26 years matchups. That's all available on every page. If you want to get the last 40 years results, all the way back to 1976 with spreads, that's available for every single team right now. If you want to get the draft history for every team, that's all the way back to 1933, the first year of the draft. That's available. Last 20 years leaders are available right there. And the start chart will be updated during the course of the season. Show you what the start chart's like here. That tells you each of the players and they started, and we'll be updating that all season long. That's available on every FBS team. On the FCS teams, let's click on the champ from last year, South Dakota State. Here you get the last 6 years ATS logs. That's pretty nice and handy. And once again, color-coded green and red, including the average game grades. We've had a lot of people ask, how do we come upon an average game grade? We have them for both the FBS and the FCS. And what we do, and it's different. I'll give you an example. If you rush for 200 yards against an FCS team, you do not get a very good grade. However, if you rush for 200 yards against, let's say, Iowa, one of the best defenses in the country, you get a very good grade. So rushing for 200 yards is not the same. It all depends on the opponent. What the average game grade does, it takes a look at the yards rushing and who the opponent was, yards passing, who the opponent was, score of the game, who the opponent was, factors it all in and gives you an average game grade for the team. And that's available for every game all season long. You get a great set of power ratings. You could take a look here and see the power ratings for it for the season. And I'll get to that in a minute, where we're going to actually show you the last 4 weeks from last year for a couple of teams and how it compares for the upcoming season. So you got FBS, FCS, as mentioned, South Dakota State here. You got the last 6 years log. You have individual player stats. You can click right here and see how each player did all season long, and we'll be updating it all season long this year. And if you want to go back and look how South Dakota State's done through the years, you can go all the way back, color-coded green and red, back to 2011. And how about NFL? I don't talk about the NFL very much, but we've got NFL team pages as well. Once again, you could click on here and see every time Buffalo has played Vegas the last 22 years, how the games have gone. That's available for every single NFL matchup right now. You get the individual player stats updated all season long. We'll just click on 2022. You go right across the board and see stats for every game, who played, for how much, what they did. That's available for the NFL. And once again, you go all the way back here. So all those are available for the team pages. But let's go to the home page here for philsteele.com. And what we're going to do is, there we go, right here. Now, all this stuff is available. I'm not going to click on all this today. But all this is at your fingertips all season long. I'm going to look at a couple of things. This one's brand new. Phil Steele's lines on all FBS versus FBS games. It originally started with me putting up my preseason line on every game, but it's gone to so much more. Click right here to download, and look at this. You get the Vegas line for every game. You get, now this here, this category, last met line, last met score. This gives you an example. Vanderbilt, when they last met Hawaii on the road, they must have been a 9.5 point favorite. Now at home, you take away the 3 points or you add the 3 points for the home edge, and then you take away the 3 points, which it was last year. It's basically a 6 point difference, home and away. Vanderbilt's a 15.5 point favorite. Vanderbilt won the game big. You add that 6 points. They won it by 53 last year. They would have won by 59. I'll be charting how these do, and these are the games that are done so far, so you can see how they're doing. And the records will be updated every week for you, and you'll see if these categories are doing well this year. This is my plus-minus ratings, how they're doing. 4-3, 6-5 so far, not bad. This is my preseason lines on the games. 5-2 the first week, 4-0 so far this week. That's going pretty decent. This is a new one, the Situation Edge. Went pretty good yesterday, going 6-1 for the Situation. What we did is we looked at every team's schedule and broke it down month by month. What was the most important game? What was the least important game? And if you get a least important game against the most important game, then these numbers are here. Now, last night there was a 2 for the Arizona State and Southern Utah game. Arizona State's got a lot of big games coming up. That was a winner with Southern Utah last week. Did miss out on the Minnesota-Nebraska one. Oh, actually, that should have been a win. I should have color-coded that a win because that's one for the home team there. And, oh, no, Minnesota did not cover. That's why that's in red. So there was 6-1 there. And then if there's revenge, we put it in here as well. Let's see how revenge does. The first week, revenge didn't do well. Louisiana Tech was playing with legitimate revenge against FIU, didn't cover. Last night, Utah was playing with legitimate revenge against Florida and did cover. You'll see the revenge column updated all season long. And then this one for this week, we're going to take a quick look at. It's the last 4 weeks AGG. Now, this won't be updated until October after this week, but I thought I'd go take a look back at the last 4 weeks AGG for last year, and that's where we get our first play. We're taking Colorado State against Washington State. And if you look at Colorado State, we're going to click on them for this year. No, that's Boise. Sorry about that. Let's click on Colorado State. Here is Colorado State last year. Now, they played pretty poorly. You see these levels here, the black, that means they weren't doing very well. But the last 4 weeks, look at this. They played to a 95, 92, 95, and 95 level. Now, look over here. They were only 1-3. But they gave a good game to San Jose. They actually outgained San Jose by 112 yards. They actually outgained Wyoming by 136 yards. And while they lost Air Force by 12, Air Force was playing really good. They still earned a good grade there. That's how the average game grades work. So over the last 4 weeks, and this will get updated in October once we get teams into the 5th and 6th game, but they played to a 94.6 level over the last 4 weeks. So they were playing really strong. Now we'll take a look at Washington State. And with Washington State, let's click on down here. They had a really good season, a lot of green here, but didn't finish off the season very well. Lost to Fresno badly, lost to Washington badly. In fact, they finished at 91.9. So Colorado State was playing at a higher level, plus add in the home field edge. The last 4 weeks AGG actually says Colorado State by 9.4 in this game, and they're an 11-point underdog. Also, flip to your magazine, page 251. You'll see that Norvell for Colorado State, I want you to look up in the coach's box in the upper right-hand corner. You're going to see that he's 9-3 against the spread as a home dog. So 9-3 against the spread as a home dog, that's pretty good. You got the last 4 weeks from last year. Let's click back on that. Last 4 weeks for last. Let's click back there. And Washington State, Colorado State. There it is. Colorado State not by 9.8. They also have a one situation play here. Here's your green situation plays for today. If it's a positive number, that means the situation favors the home team. If it's a negative number, that means the situation favors the visitor. So add it all up. You got a situational edge. You've got Colorado State playing well. We're taking Colorado State plus 11 over Washington State in the first of your best bets for the Phil Steele Plus. Now for the next one, we're going to take a look at two teams, Miami of Ohio against Miami of Florida. And here's something else that's brand new. I'm going to click on this. It's not up now, but we'll be up by next week. You get the last 10 years spread logs for every team will be up there in all these categories. You already get these in the magazine up here. The straight up records, the ATS records, that's all in the magazine. However, this is even more. How do teams do as a favorite? How about when they're favored by 3 or less? Single digit, double digit, 20 or more. It's all right there. Look at this. Miami of Ohio as a favorite at 20 or more is 0-6 the last 10 years. That's pretty interesting. How do they do as an underdog? When they're a 20-point dog or more, 9-11. Conference play, conference favorite, conference dog versus ranked teams versus top 10 teams. That'll be there for every single team every week. I'll show you next week where it's located on your team pages, but you'll have all that spread information. So you already get this in the magazine. The magazine's the best out there, but you get all this other stuff down below, completely analyzed, broken down, and you'll have it for in your fingertips right here on Phil Steele Plus. One thing I want to point out is with Chuck Martin. Chuck Martin started, I believe, in 16 or here in 15. His first 3 years, all losing years, or his first 3 years were 14, 15, 16, all losing years. What he did then, if you go down here and look at the conference play and non-conference play, well, let's look right here versus non-conference. He started de-emphasizing conference games or non-conference games. They went 0-4, 1-3, 1-4, 2-3, and 3-2. Keep in mind, these numbers right here, these 3 years, they include 3 bowl wins. So take the 3 bowl wins out. He's actually 4-16 against the spread versus non-conference. And since he's done that, they've gotten great in conference play. So it's always almost an automatic play to play against him in non-conference action. Now let's take a look at the MAC games. Let's go to Miami of Ohio. Let's look at the last 40 years results. And let's look at the road openers. First road game. Now, this LW here, that refers to the spread. If it's bold, that means the team won the game. So as you could tell, first game they lost and lost against the spread. So road opener 0-1, road opener 0-2, big loss to Cincy. Road opener 0-3, big loss to Buffalo. Road opener lost to Iowa. Road opener lost to Cincy. And road opener lost to Marshall. Martin is now 0-6 against the spread in road openers, 4-12 against the spread in non-conference games, and Miami of Florida is off a losing season. They need a good game, get that team starting to believe in itself. I like Miami of Florida minus 16.5 over Miami of Ohio. That's Miami of Florida minus 16.5 over Miami of Ohio. The next one we're going to look at, once again, I'm going to go to the team page, and it's UMass. And something I looked at and noticed, and this trend, I believe, is in the magazine. Let's see how UMass does. Oh, by the way, on this page, which has the logs all the way back to 1997, you get the coaches right here. Coach, you could tell who the coach was all the way back to 92. You get the numbers for every team all the way back to 92, what conference they were in. Here they were in the Atlantic 10, the CAA, the MAC, the Independent. That's where they've been. They had Mark Whipple as the head coach, Walt Bell. But the one thing that's been consistent is how this UMass team does against SEC competition. Now, they don't win the games, but look at this. At Texas A&M, that's 1-0. They beat an SEC team last year. Let's look for the other SEC teams they've played. Hopefully I don't miss any while I'm going through here. Nope. We got 0-1 so far, or 1-0 so far. And we are looking for SEC. Georgia, win. That's 2-0. Okay, and let's look here. Mississippi State, win. That's 3-0. Tennessee, win. That's 4-0. South Carolina, win. That's 5-0. Mississippi State, win. That's 6-0. Florida, win. That's 7-0. And Vanderbilt, win. That's 8-0. Vanderbilt, win. That's 9-0. You see, they're not winning them straight up, but they are winning against the spread. You don't have to go to plus 29.5. Was it a favorite? No, it's right there. Win-loss. 9 in a row against the SEC. UMass has covered. Use these back here. They're very important and very useful during the course of the year. And once again, if you go to a team like Alabama, they have all, let's go to Alabama in the SEC. This is all updated all the way back to 1976, all the spreads on every game and where they ranked in every year. It's all up there on the last 40. It's actually the last 46 years, I believe. This says 40 plus right there. Let me give you your quick hitters. Then we're going to wrap it up with your final best bet. So far we got 3 best bets. We got Colorado State plus 11. We got Miami of Florida minus 60.5. We got UMass plus 35.5. Let me give you your quick hitters. Your quick hitters, if you go to page 185 of the magazine, look at Justin Wilcox as an away favorite. How about 2-6 against the spread? Take North Texas plus the 7. If you go to your experience chart in the magazine, I want you to flip to that page. Toledo is number 11 on the experience chart. Illinois is number 116. Last time, a couple of years ago, just 2 years ago, Toledo went to Notre Dame and almost pulled the upset. Here they're getting 9.5 points this week. I like Toledo plus the 9.5 against Illinois. And here's another one for you, a quick hitter. Line just popped up on the Kansas game, which is tonight. Kansas is playing Missouri State. They're a 20.5 point favorite. Kansas can't overlook these teams, and Missouri State lost a lot. Get your FCS magazine, by the way. The FCS magazine is available right now. If you go to the store, click on the homepage here, and go to the store. At the store under digital versions, right here, digital editions, is the FCS magazine, and it's right here. 2 full pages on every FCS team. And if you flip to the Missouri State page, you're going to see they lost their head coach. They lost a lot from last year. They're an inexperienced squad. Kansas is the most experienced team in the country. My computer's got Kansas winning this thing by like 40 points. They're only a 20.5 point favorite. We're going to go with Kansas minus 20.5 against Missouri State tonight as your third quick hitter. Now let's wrap it up with your final thing. And once again, if you click here next week, I will show you where these are located. But if you look at Oregon State as an away favorite, look at this, 2-8 against the spread as an away favorite over the last 10 years. They're not in a good situation. And also a couple other things on this game which are interesting. And the one thing I want to wrap it up is we got a brand new look to my Inside the Press Box this year. These right here will be updated all season long. You get an idea of the opponents they played and what their ranking was when they played them. Top offenses, top defenses, that's all in there. That's great for strength of schedule. This is the last 26 years matchups, which you get by clicking on an opponent on Phil Steele Plus. This gives you some power ratings on the game. This is my computer's forecast, and we're going to argue sometimes, but we're going to agree a lot. And then you get my complete write-up on the game. Now, the breakdown was something like this. You see the computer does have Oregon State winning it by 17, but let's look at it a little closer. Look at the yards for this thing. It's only got a 436 to 343. That's only a 100-yard difference. That comes out to about a 6-point margin. And my write-up, I've got Oregon State favored by 10 in the game. They're a 16.5-point favorite. And one other quick thing I want to point out on Phil Steele Plus is the half times and the box scores, just to show you. I'm just trying to show you how to use this as quick as I can here. If we go to San Jose State, who played last week, let's go to the Mountain West, San Jose State. You can see at the half, it was 21-14 against USC, and they were only outgained by 32 yards. So they played a really good game at the half. They ended up covering the game against USC on the road. San Jose State was 6-0 straight up at home last year. And were playing in a refurbished home stadium. Now it's completely ready. They're going to be pumped up at home for a Pac-12 opponent. Oregon State is 12-1. Let's go back to Oregon State for a minute and look at something here. Oregon State, if you look at their home record, 12-1 straight up at home over the last 2 years. That one loss was a close one to USC. They are dynamic, 7-11, 13-0 against the spread at home. But as mentioned, 2-8 as an away favorite. And the final thing to look at, if you click on box, I'd like to thank collegepressbox.com. They provide the box score on every single game. Now, I go through the play-by-play of every game every week, and that's right down here. You could do the exact same thing I do. Follow along how the game was played, and you get halftime you get the stats updated for you. You get all the individual things. That's right here. All you have to do is click on box. So click on box. You get half times. You want to see how San Jose State's done against Oregon State. There you go. They've lost both meetings. It covered here. Did not cover there, but they last met in 2015, so none of that really applies. But add it all together, you get my first inside the press box. It's not an official play in press box, but it's a definite lean. I like San Jose State plus 16.5 against Oregon State. And let me wrap it up with a little special for you this week. If you go to inside the press box right now, go to the home page once again, and we go to the store right here. And here is Inside the Press Box College. You will see it's $20, and that is all 87 write-ups for this week are up there right now. But if you type in this code word, 87 week 1, you will get this week's College Inside the Press Box, regular $20 for just $9 this week. Now, yeah, there was, what they have, like 6 games, 8 games went yesterday. There's still 70-some-odd games up there. It comes out to about 10 cents a game. Just go to the Inside the Press Box right here, click on it, and type in the code word 87 week 1. That's a $20 value, just $9 this week. I'll have more up for you next week. We'll get side-by-sides coming up once teams have started playing. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you use Phil Steele Plus to the fullest. We keep adding to it. We're getting it more and more and more. Make sure you take advantage of all that information that is up there. It's all the information I use every week to handicap. Thank you for taking the Phil Steele Plus tour for week number 1.